because I separated from my husband. And so I was noticing some relationship patterns that weren't healthy, and led me to get where I was at the time. And so I just wanted to try and develop different perspectives and skills to hopefully not repeat old patterns. I appreciated the check-ins. I think that definitely kept me focused, because there would be obviously times returning to my old patterns or my old ways of thinking. And so just like the meditations, the group chats, just things that more consistently keep you developing the new way of thinking. I mean, I felt more like you're actually a friend rather than traditional talk therapy. Like, my talk therapist would never text me to just say, how are you doing today? Or, hey, last time we talked about such and such, how is that unfolding for you? So it definitely made it feel more like you cared, instead of it was just a paycheck or another customer.
I was struggling a lot with anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
To the point where some days I wouldn't get out of bed and I would cry all day long. Maybe not consistently, but I cried a lot. And I just wasn't happy. I have basically struggled with anxiety since I was probably about 18 years old. Constant worry about everything, what if. The depression probably started younger, about 12. And just this, maybe not every day, all day, every year, but, it would come and go through my life. I've been to counselors since about the age of 12, many different counselors, psychiatrists, very heavily medicated when I was a teenager. And even up until now, I've seen a counselor for the last 2.5 years. So I find, I like to say it's deeper, or it's more intense. It's very intense work. And I believe with the emotional trauma that I was going through, I really needed to get into the root of it, right? Where I didn't feel anything else really got to the root. Whereas this, I found I was able to center myself, to find myself. I feel like I'm a whole different person. I've learned so much about me, and just confident, able to be myself, but to really know who I am. That's the biggest thing. I would say that it is definitely a very good investment in yourself. What I have found, money can't buy. It just can't. It's amazing. Shimrate is amazing. She's changed my whole life. And you have to try it. You have to.
Look at things skeptically and want to know how things work logically and rationally, but also believing that anything's possible. And if you can honestly tell yourself that you believe that anything's possible, then it really opens up all the possibilities. And this program supports that 100%. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis after my first breakup, which was about 15 years ago. I was told that there would be a chronic condition. I think this is kind of a combination of reducing my stress and also just putting more positive energy in myself. But by virtue of doing the tools and the work in the program, I decided to try to not take my maintenance medication for that anymore. And that happened, and I haven't ever had to take my pills since about mid-October is when I stopped. And I have not had a single symptom or flare up or anything like that with it, not one time.
And she told me, and she followed through with this throughout my entire program, that she was dedicated to, following up and reaching out and schedule. She was actually very, very accommodating to me. So I really appreciated the fact that we were able to get all the work done. That I was really drowning under a lot of negativity. And so the simple processes and the practices that we did in group together were so extremely helpful, as well as the meditations to kind of reveal what was possible. And when I'm thinking back now, I'm remembering how regular those days were for me,
Yeah.
that I would wake up feeling so hopeless
Yeah.
and so overwhelmed. I was able to really actually meet myself where I needed to and find how to access that new voice, the voice really that it just speaks in loving kindness to myself. So it was so precious. And then
know how to motivate myself, and I didn't know how to communicate my standards or boundaries. Even though I knew that I should have them, I didn't know how to implement them. And that was something I wanted to learn. I had a lot of anger and resentment towards my past relationships and the people that I was with. And when we did one of your guided meditations, straight away after that, I felt like it was all gone. I don't feel sad or angry anymore, and it's just such a release. And it gives me as well more energy and more thinking space for the present and the future. My transformation, everyone else can notice it.
Wow.
They can notice how different a person I am now. Yeah, and it's such a noticeable change in a really short amount of time, actually. So it's been very powerful to work with you.